Well, tonight's game told you exactly why the Mets went out and sold at the trade deadline. Mets lose 7-6 to the Kansas City Royals in game 106 of the season. And this is going to be a rough last 2 months. And quite honestly, a game like tonight is making me question how much I'm even going to be able to upload. I don't know if I'm going to switch to just doing series recaps instead for this team for now. But honestly, because right now it sucks. We're at the part where they stripped it down and there's nothing really exciting to watch. Alvarez, Beatty, and Vientos is all we're really watching for at this point. And to be honest, I it's not worth turning my television on at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, whatever time it is, every single night to watch right now. I still will watch majority of nights just because I'm going to support this team. I'm going to support the idea, and I'm going to because of the fact that they chose to do the right thing and build the farm system and actually start to build this thing from the ground up and be a smart baseball team. So I'm going to get behind it and I'm going to support them, obviously, and I'm going to make content. But I'll be honest, that is going to be a difficult watch for these next 2 months, where next year, at least some more of the prospects will come up. And it's like, okay, we're going to get to see Acuna maybe next year. We might see Vasil. We might see Christian Scott. You know what I'm saying? We might see all of these guys next year, where right now it's kind of like, all right, well, what is there to watch right now? But the Mets lost this game in the most hilarious fashion. Terrible defense all around. Brett Beatty does not look cut out for the MLB right now. He doesn't. I've been saying that they should send him down. I know people are saying, well, at this point, why don't you keep him on the big league roster since there's nothing left? And my counter argument to that is that why just why not just put him in AAA? It does not hurt to over marinate these prospects. If anything, it's better to over marinate prospects versus just having them struggle in the big leagues, trying to figure it out, which that could also be an answer. Everyone has their different ways of finding it out. But for me, I think Beatty would benefit a little stint down in AAA. But again, that's obviously the Mets' decision and not mine. I don't know if they're going to do it. But before we jump into the full recap, leave a like on the video if you do enjoy. Subscribe if you guys are new, especially if you're Met fans, and turn on your notifications so you know when I upload or go live next on the channel. But in the first inning, McNeil hits into a flyout, and then Alvarez strikes out. Lindor gets himself a single to right, but he gets picked off at first by Zach Greinke, and that ends the inning. Bottom of the first, Garcia walks. Witt Jr. ends up popping out, and then a pass ball there by Alvarez allows Garcia to advance. Melendez ends up walking. Perez grounds out, and then Furman lines out. We go to the top of the second, where Pete Alonso hits a home run to make it a 1-0 ball game, as everyone is talking about how he might be traded, and it could happen. Who knows? But he makes it 1-0 for his 31st home run of the season as he crushes that one to center. 1-0 ball game. Brett Beatty hits into a line out. Mark Vientos flies out. DJ Stewart hits a double, and then Rafael Ortega flies out. We go to the bottom of the second. Matt Duffy flies out. Edward Olivares singles. Taylor hits into a force out, but he ends up getting on, so he gets to steal second, and then Isbell ends up flying out to end the inning. The Mets go down in order from 3 groundouts in the top of the third. Bottom of the third, a 1-2-3 inning for Quintana, which he much needed, as he gets Garcia to ground out, Witt to strike out, and then Melendez to fly out. Greinke, though, would have another 1-2-3 inning as Lindor grounds out, Alonso strikes out, and Beatty flies out. And then the bottom of the fourth, Salvador Perez gets a single to left, and then Freddie Furman ends up hitting into a double play. Matt Duffy gets a single, and then Olivares flies out. We go to the top of the fifth. Vientos grounds out. Stewart singles. Rafael Ortega strikes out. Danny Mendick grounds out. We go to the bottom of the fifth. Taylor hits a double. Isbell hits a sacrifice bunt. Garcia hits a sacrifice fly, and that ties the game up at 1 all of a sudden. And there was at one point, I think it was in this inning, where Alonso tried to catch the foul ball and it hit him right in the face, which, yeah, there was a lot of ugly things that happened on the defensive side of things. Brett Beatty making mistakes all over the place. Danny Mendick having an adventure to catch a routine pop-up at one point in this game. It was so ugly, but Witt Jr. flies out to end the inning. And then the Royals go to their bullpen as Alec Marsh comes in. McNeil grounds out. Alvarez strikes out. Lindor walks. Alonso hits into a pop-out. We go to the bottom of the sixth where Quintana gets another huge 1-2-3 inning. McNeil makes a great catch at the end of the inning. He got shaken up a bit, but he makes a great catch. And he ended up being okay, thankfully. And then the Royals go to their bullpen again as Austin Cox comes in. Funny name, right? Beatty strikes out. Vientos grounds out. Stewart walks. And then Ortega grounds out to end the inning. Top of the seventh, Duffy gets a single. And then Blanco ends up being a pitch runner. Olivares hits into a flyout. Taylor gets a single. And then you have a double steal here as, again, errors out the wazoo. Francisco Alvarez with a bad throw, and that allows the runners to score to make it a 2-1 ball game. Isbell strikes out. Trevor Gott then comes into the game. He allows a single to Garcia to make it 3-1. Garcia gets a stolen base. Bobby Witt Jr. strikes out. So finally the end of the inning. And it just sucks. The Mets made a comeback too. That's what's annoying, but Mendick lines out. McNeil gets a single. Dylan Coleman comes in to pitch. And then Alvarez gets a single. Lindor gets hit by a pitch. Pete Alonso then gets a single to make it a 3-2 game. Brett Beatty then walks to make it a 3-3 game. And then Mark Vientos hits a sacrifice fly to make it a 4-3 game. So all of a sudden, and then Whitgren comes into the game, gets Stewart to ground out. But all of a sudden, the Mets have a 4-3 lead. And then Adam Ottavino comes in. Walks Melendez, who ends up stealing a base too. Perez grounds out. Furman hits a sacrifice fly to tie the game at 4. Blanco grounds out. Mets go down in order in the top of the ninth. Drew Smith comes in the pitch, and he actually didn't do awful for once as Beatty strikes out. Massey walks. Isbell flies out. Garcia grounds out. We go to the 10th inning here as Hernandez comes in the pitch for them. And then Francisco Alvarez hits a 2-run home run to make it a 6-4 ball game there. So the invisible runner there, or the ghost runner, whatever you want to call it, ends up helping the Mets out as Alvarez makes it 6-4. Lindor would ground out. Alonso would strike out. Beatty would walk. Vientos would strike out. But Mets had a lead, and then yeah. Bobby Witt Jr. hits an RBI double to make it 6-5. Melendez ties the game at 6 with a single. Perez pops out. Hartwig has to come in the pitch because Raley did a horrendous job, and he's our closer now. He strikes out Furman. Had an out in place, but Blanco gets on because of a horrendous, inexcusable throw by Brett Beatty. Inexcusable. Alonso misses the tag. And yeah, all of a sudden then, Drew Waters' pitch hits. He walks. All of a sudden the bases are loaded. Josh Walker comes in. Does not even register a single pitch in tonight's game. He balks because of an issue with the pitch comm on Alvarez's end. He balks. And that allows the run to come in. And that is the walk-off. 7-6. The most poetic way for the Mets to lose this season, right? Right? A walk-off balk. Hey, the Mets were 2 for 4 with runners in scoring position. They actually, hit 500 with runners in scoring position, even though there was only 4 opportunities with runners in scoring position. But yeah, this is something else. This is going to be funny baseball to watch. It is so bad. Quintana did very good, though. 6 2/3 of an inning. Only allowed 6 hits. Only allowed 3 runs. Only allowed 2 walks. He would have liked more strikeouts. He only had 2, but you're not expecting a lot from Quintana. This is kind of the regular for him where he's going to allow 2 to 3 runs, maybe 4, and you're just going to have to live with it. And it's a fine outing. It's fine. The bullpen just has to be there to do their job, which they obviously were not tonight. And the defense also needs to be there to do their job. They obviously did not tonight. And yeah, Katana did very solid. Got not great. Allowed the hit that allowed one of those runs. Got a strikeout, but Ottavino, ugh, oh, allowed a walk there. Allowed a run. Ugh. Drew Smith actually was probably the best pitcher for the Mets tonight outside of Quintana, the best bullpen pitcher. He allowed a walk, but still did way better than anyone else. Brooks Raley allowed 2 hits, 2 runs. Yeah. Not good. Grant Hartwig allowing a walk. Not good. And then Josh Walker didn't register a pitch. The bullpen, they had to use 3 guys in the 10th inning. One of them didn't throw a pitch, but they had to use 3 guys in the 10th inning. I think this tells you why the Mets punted on the season. I think this tells you where the Mets are as a team right now. And that is that, yeah, they waved the white flag, and this is going to be freaking brutal baseball, like I said. Nimmo was scratched from the lineup for whatever reason last minute. So we had Jeff McNeil leading off, who I really love playing in the outfield, like I've mentioned numerous times. He went 1 for 5. Alvarez hitting second. I'm glad they're giving him reps in the 2-hole. Just let him hit there for the remainder of the year. What do you have to lose at this point? Because who else are you putting there? There's no more Tommy Pham around. There's no more Mark Canha around. There's no more any of these guys around. You might as well just let Alvarez ride there. And he went 2 for 5 with 2 RBIs. Struck out twice, but he still went 2 for 5. Very successful day for Alvarez at the plate. I'm happy with what we got from him. So, yeah, good day for Alvarez. Lindor 1 for 3 with a walk. Not bad. Not bad for Lindor. Not the best, but not bad. Alonso went 2 for 5 with 2 RBIs and 2 strikeouts. Not bad either. Very similar day to Alvarez, so I'm not going to complain. But then you get to the bottom of the lineup, and outside of DJ Stewart, holy crap, did it suck. Brett Beatty went 0 for 3 with 2 walks and a strikeout, and horrendous defense on top of that. So Brett Beatty is definitely concerning right now. Mark Vientos went 0 for 4 with an RBI and struck out. Concerning. Stewart, 2 for 3, like I said, very good day. Ended up having a walk. Ortega 0 for 4. Gross. Mendick 0 for 4. Gross. This lineup is brutal. This team is brutal. This is the hand that we're dealt with, and we're going to have to live with it. This team is a mess, and I know that's not going to be fun, but the bright side is there's a light at the end of the tunnel for once. The Mets have a better prospect pool than they did a week ago, and we could look forward to all these guys. Even though they're years out, even though they are years out, there is something to look forward to with the Mets going forward, and that's something that I'm going to talk about more in my trade deadline recap video, which will come out tomorrow probably. Yeah, I'll probably just release it tomorrow, record it tonight, but release it tomorrow. But just because of how many uploads I already had today between the game, between the trade videos, the deadline stream, go check all those out too if you haven't already. But that's where I think I'm going to wrap it up here. Don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you guys are new, especially if you're Met fans. Turn on your notifications so you know when I upload or go live next. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.